Sigma just revived a legendary lens for filmmakers. This is the Sigma 17-40, and its release marks the return of one of the most iconic aps-c lenses they have ever made. Let me explain by telling you a story about the birth of a legend. The year is 2013, and up until this point, if you wanted a lens good in low light with a low aperture, your choices were very limited, basically just prime lenses, because zooms were at best f2.8 if you were lucky and you had a big budget. But that year, that all changed when Sigma realized there was a gap in the market, and they released what is arguably one of the most compelling zoom lenses of all time for a crop sensor camera, the Sigma 18-35, a relatively compact lens for the time that most importantly did not compromise on low light performance due to it having an extremely impressive f1.8 constant aperture. Oh yeah, and it also had an internal zoom that made it basically perfect for filmmaking, especially on a gimbal. Filmmakers loved this lens. I loved this lens. People raved about it online, left thousands of 5-star reviews. It was, in a word, legendary. But there were two limitations, two flaws of this lens. The first is obvious. There was not a full frame option. It was only an aps-c crop sensor camera compatible lens, which, side note by the way, Sigma has since released a full frame option called a 28-45 f1.8, which I've already reviewed and I will link to up in the corner and down in the video description. But the second flaw of this 18-35 lens was arguably worse, and it was that this lens was limited to only two lens mounts: Canon EF and Nikon F, and also Sigma SA, but did anybody use that? I don't think anybody used that. So anyways, there was no Sony E-mount, no modern mounts for mirrorless cameras at all, which over time led to this legendary Sigma 18-35 to slowly fall out of favor. Not because it wasn't a good lens, but because filmmakers and photographers wanted native lenses that they didn't have to use an adapter for. Now, 12 years later, after the initial release of the Sigma 18-35, Sigma is ready to show us what they've been working on, the successor to one of their most legendary lenses, and this is it right here. The 17-40mm f1.8, a successor that improves on the original in every single way. And today, I'm going to be reviewing this lens from the perspective of a wedding and freelance filmmaker. So if you're someone who makes money with your camera and you're wanting a super compact f1.8 zoom that gets you incredible looking footage without breaking the bank, this review is for you. Also, for the sake of ethics, I want you to know this video is not paid or sponsored by Sigma, and while they have loaned me this lens so I could make this review, I will sadly be returning it to them very soon because it's so cute. Look at it. I want to keep it, but I can't. I'm also going to link down in the video description to my filmmaker gear guide if you want to learn more about the equipment that I recommend and see all of it, all listed out with links where you can purchase it. You can download this guide completely for free at the link in the video description. Let's get into the review now. As I said, the 17-40mm improves on the original 18-35 in every single way. Starting off with what will be the most obvious answer whenever you hold this lens, the size. This thing is tiny, ultra compact. I'm frankly shocked that even though it's not a full frame lens, Sigma was able to make it this small and still keep the f1.8 aperture. Oh yeah, and they kept the zoom internal too. So not only is this lens small, it also doesn't shift its weight much at all whenever you zoom it in and out because the barrel doesn't extend, and it zooms like butter. Oh, it's so smooth. Compared to the original 18-35, this lens is also 4mm shorter and 5mm less girthy, less diameter, and the original was not that big to begin with. It's also very lightweight too, coming in at only 525 grams, which for context is about 35% lighter than the original 18-35. But I want you to keep in mind that this isn't an 18-35. Sigma has added more zoom range on the wide and tight end of the lens, adding 1mm on the wide and 5 on the tight. If anyone tells you that lens technology has not improved in the last 12 years, just show them this lens because it's truly impressive what Sigma is able to pull off from a size and weight perspective. Throw in the fact that Sigma has also included everything you would expect on a modern lens from them as well, including an aperture ring that can be made clickless, autofocus manual focus switch, 2 programmable buttons, and a 67mm filter thread that's very easy to find adapters for, and you're going to see that the 17-40 is an extremely full-featured lens. Of course, though, none of this would matter if the image quality from this lens sucked, right? Or it was somehow worse than the original. Don't worry, I've got good news, because whenever I threw this lens on a rented Sony FX30, I was pleasantly surprised to see the image quality from it was quite good as well. Everything that you would expect from a modern zoom lens. It's sharp, the colors are accurate and vibrant, and let me just say, that f1.8 aperture is putting in the work. It looks absolutely gorgeous, and how is the autofocus, by the way? Really good, very accurate, it's fast, I didn't see it hunting, solid work here from Sigma. How about focus breathing then? In a word, minimal. It's still noticeable if you do a full rack focus, but it's very small. I had to really look for it, and this is very acceptable, in my opinion. And is it parfocal? No. It's close. Focus is still slightly off whenever you zoom in and out though, but does that matter if you have good autofocus? I don't know, that's up to you, let me know in the comments. But for me, let me say that if I had an FX30 that I owned and I wasn't just renting it, and maybe I was a new filmmaker just getting started and I was looking for a super solid, extremely versatile, full-featured zoom lens that would look incredible and still enable me to get gorgeous low-light shots, I would pick this Sigma lens up in a heartbeat, especially whenever you consider they're charging $920 for it, which is kinda mind-blowing considering that the original 18-35 is still on sale for $880 at the time of making this video, so $40 more for all these improvements? I'll take it. So yeah, the Sigma 18-35 is dead, but he had a son. Long live the 17-40 f1.8. Will you be getting one? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're down there, I would love for you to check out my free workshop that's going to show you how to book your next wedding in 30 days or less. It's completely free and you can watch it in the video description. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos about filmmaking, lenses, video editing, etc. And have a great day.